So welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Mitch Abrams, and this is a Rad Art Conversation. Today we're with Dr. Bhante Saranapala, aka the Urban Buddhist Monk, who I'll introduce momentarily. But we're also with Klaas, aka Shooter, who is a RADD certified artist. And in the RADD art, we actually create these moments of learning and healing together through conversations that really focus on sharing kindness and the science of compassion with each other. And these very powerful and impactful conversations are moments that are captured within art that are then used in sponsorships and in sales that help create cycles of compassion to deliver mental health and resilient programs in schools and in communities in need. So, welcome everybody. Today I want to introduce Dr. Bhante Saranapala, aka the Urban Buddhist Monk. Now, Bhante, your biography, the amount of awards, if I were to read them all off, we would use up the entire time. But just to share with our viewers, you are a global public speaker, a teacher of mindfulness and meditation, a spiritual counselor. And the list of awards, I mean, it's amazing. You were the recipient of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms from the Government of Canada, the Canada 150 Medal, and the Sesquicentennial Community Award from the Government of Canada, the Spirit Award from the Government of Ontario. You've also received the Dr. Ambed Karam Award this past year, and also recently the Mazda Canada Community Award. I mean, basically you just exude kindness and compassion, and you know, it's just amazing the amount of work that you do, and I'm really looking forward to kind of getting into that with you. And just to share with everybody that Dr. Bhante Saranapala, you have multiple degrees, both undergraduate and graduate studies, as well as your monastic studies. So I think you're really an amazing resource of knowledge when it comes to not just the science of compassion, but also what's the common themes between all religions in the world. So first off, you talk a lot about kindfulness. Can you tell us a little bit, what is kindfulness?
Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Mitch, for coming here to do this interview with me. I think we have been friends for a long time now. You have spoken at our annual Kindful Canada Symposium a couple of times. So this friendship is growing, and wherever we are living or doing things, we are staying connected. So it's a good, I consider that's a very amazing, kindful friendship that we have built. So kindfulness is coming from two words, kindness and mindfulness. It was, this word was coined by a very funny British Buddhist monk living in Australia, Ajahn Brahm. And so I'm using this word, kindfulness, for something greater. So it's a kind of therapy, maybe a special healing technique I'm introducing to the world. So this kindfulness can be practiced in two steps. The first step is be mindful to be kind to yourself, like myself, be kind to yourself. And the second step is be mindful to be kind to others. So this is very important. Now, without being kind to myself, I can't be kind to others. Without you being kind to yourself, there's no way that you can be kind to others. So self-healing, self-care is very important. Being kind to yourself is very important. And so I'm using this word, this phrase, kindfulness, as the maybe global medicine maybe global healing therapy. It's not a religious or cultural thing. It is a universal practice. So what I'm telling people, like wherever I go, I travel to the different countries, and I meet people from all walks of life, from all religious backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. I always tell them, I'm a Buddhist monk. This is my personal lifestyle. But I'm not here to ask you to become like me, to become a Buddhist monk. But whoever you are, you could be a Christian or Catholic or Muslim or Hindu or Jew or whatever you are. That is, you have to remember you're a human being. We all are human beings. As human beings, we have these beautiful values. So two of them are kindness and mindfulness. So when we use the word mindfulness, the real meaning of mindfulness, if we make it a verb, to remember. So mindfulness means, being mindful means always remember to be kind to yourself. Always remember to be kind to others. So this is how we practice kindfulness. And of course, I can give you a lot of examples how I have been practicing kindfulness for a long time. I would say from my own childhood till this day. It never ends. So I have been, originally, I have been practicing kindfulness unconsciously, unknowingly in Bangladesh. And then I learned that from my own grandfather, who I would say he was the most kindful human being on earth. Those days in late 70s and early 80s, I was a preteen. In my childhood, I have seen how my grandfather was being so kindful. Then when I became a Buddhist monk at the age of 10, my teacher, Bangladeshi teacher, sent me to Sri Lanka. And there I was so fortunate to meet other great masters, teachers in my life, and who were also revolutionary figures, personalities in the island nation of Sri Lanka. Everybody respected him highly. So his entire life has been spent on one slogan. If I'm to translate that into English, that would be, without fixing the man, the nation cannot be fixed. Therefore, let's fix the man first, then let's fix the nation.
And I want to get into a little bit of the science behind that, because now, Western science and technology is starting to finally catch up to the deep wisdom that has been known and that has been written thousands of years ago. The science of mind, the science of consciousness, and the act of kindness and mindfulness to ourselves. It actually turns out that when we are practicing these very specific emotions and techniques, it induces a very specific heart rhythm that's called heart coherence. And when we induce heart coherence, it actually is an indication that our autonomic nervous system is getting back into balance. And this state of being optimizes our capacity to heal ourselves. It is an optimal state for thriving, and it optimizes our ability to think, to remember, but also to have this capacity to further self-regulate and stay grounded and be present in the moment, and hence be even more mindful to how we're feeling and how we're behaving and how we're thinking about ourselves and each other. So my question is, as a spiritual counselor, you obviously are connecting with a number of different people, and many of them, are affected by trauma or are going through a challenging moment or a crisis. So what is your approach, or one of your approaches, for someone who perhaps is so new to mindfulness and kindfulness and not aware of it? How do you help them tune in to this appreciation of our true human nature and help them reconnect with themselves?
Well, I can tell you probably a lot of stories. One story has been featured by Canada's CTV National during the annual Mental Health Awareness Month. So his name is Ryan Joseph. It's okay to tell because he's famous now. Everybody knows him.
Okay, we're not breaching any confidentiality.
Yeah. So Ryan, because it's a famous story, right? And Ryan has come to me. I think he was seeing a doctor and a psychologist, and so this doctor and psychologist told him, Ryan, why don't you go and meet this Buddhist monk? So he came here basically. On that day, he was nervous, he had a lot of cuts on his hands, and so at that moment, when somebody comes to you, you open up your heart. I openly welcomed him. I said, okay, welcome, you're at a very safe place. And why don't we go inside and sit down, let's talk. So my way of being kindful to somebody like that is to do the deep listening, listening to his or her story, what they are going through in their life. And maybe it's not that easy to talk about your own story, but then if you can show your kindness, and if you can make the person feel, this is a very kindful person who can understand my story and who can help me. And so Ryan was very much like that. And so I listened to his story carefully. And the man who was very nervous, crying, shedding tears, at the end of the story, he was very calm, relaxed. So through my kindness practice, mindful listening, I prepared the background where he can feel very comfortable. So you had to create a comfort zone. You're not a threat to the person. So I created this comfort zone for him, and then he was able to freely talk to me about his struggles. So then I taught him some techniques, and on that day, the one act of kindness I did, I said, in addition to 2 hours, as he was about to leave this place, and I told him, I said, Ryan, would you like to have a cup of tea with me? And he was up for it. He really liked it. I said, this is something that he was missing maybe. He said, oh, there's a human being who really cares for me, who is being kind to me. So I think that's it. That was the best medicine for him. And I kindly encouraged him to be part of our weekly meditation sessions I offer on Wednesday evenings. So then he came, he was trying, and then he kept coming every week until I always made sure that he becomes stronger week by week through our conversation, through our presence of kindness, through our kindness activities. And eventually he became completely healed. After becoming healed, guess what? This Ryan, started bringing all kinds of people to our sessions. And so even his friends were very surprised,
Wow.
And he said, oh, how did you get there? So, and that's why the CTV National News was interested in him. At the beginning, they were featuring him, how he recovered from this suicidal thing, you know. And then he said, it's this Buddhist monk who saved my life. I'm still living because of this monk. And then the interviewer, the journalist was interested, like, who is this Buddhist monk? Where does he live? So he said, he lives in Mississauga. If you like, I can introduce you. So they ended up here. So we continued our conversation here. And so both of us had been featured together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fascinating because there's a lot to unpack with what you just described in that one scenario.
Yeah.
You know, from what I hear you saying is that you create a space for people to share, to feel safe, but in that safe space, people have that opportunity to share their story, and by doing so, you know, they're confronting perhaps themselves, their emotions, and perhaps, you know, beginning to dive a little bit deeper into what is it that's causing them to feel the way that they do. And from a scientific perspective, what's fascinating is that going back to that idea of heart coherence, when you create your state of coherence, you actually can pull other people into a state of coherence. So your heart, it's almost like we are each tuning forks. You're starting to vibrate, and you can tune people, you can help other people resonate at the same frequency, and in turn, their heart now is sending signals to their brain that's making them feel safe, making them feel more kind and compassionate. So it's a very, you know, I love it because there's almost like multiple layers that we can keep peeling away to understand how powerful, you know, this just a simple act of being kind to yourself, the ripple effects that it has. Now, what's really interesting as a physician, I find it, you know, when I look at our healthcare model, most physicians have about, or at least family physicians for sure, they have on average about 7 minutes per patient that comes through. And we know that from statistics that about, or at least, you know, in the order of 80% of family care visits are very much focused on mental health. Now imagine 7 minutes a visit. How much? Now, I agree, you know, if a physician knows how to become kind to themselves and create that sense of compassion and coherence, that, you know, no matter how much time, that can be of benefit. But unfortunately, most physicians are dealing with burnout. Most physicians are dealing with compassion fatigue. And that sense of kindfulness to themselves is not present. Just not. And so I want to kind of get your thoughts, because I'm a true believer, we need more heart in healthcare. We need more kindfulness in healthcare. So what's your thoughts? I mean, if the Minister of Health was sitting here today with us, what would be your message?
It's going to impact not just the institution, the hospital or the clinic, is going to impact the community and the nation and the world. So I always recommend people to practice meditation. It's very important.
Meditation is very important.
Yeah, well, Dr. Mitch, you have to understand the fact that you know, there are two things very important: the mind and the body. Okay, so if you this mind and body are like two wheels of the bicycle. Let's say you're riding the bicycle. So you have, in order to keep going, you have to pedal the bicycle. So if you stop pedaling the bicycle, you're going to fall. So in the same way now, if you just take care of just one thing, there are people who are going for the physical fitness, let's say, For physical fitness, they would go to gym, they would do the bodybuilding, they would make time to do this physical exercise every day or a couple of times a week. And you feed it, you do everything. But what are you doing for your own mind, which is more important? Now, there are people, strong people with a strong physical fitness, but they are mentally very weak. They are unfit, and they are suffering. So we need both physical fitness and the mental fitness. So now, if you're not mentally fit, that's where things begin to crumble and crash and collapse. And so we have to take some actions. Maybe the government, let's say the minister, could bring mindfulness exercise, meditation practices into the field. They have to support the program. They have to invite the experts into the field to come and do these sessions. And because without that mental fitness, even the doctors cannot perform well. Absolutely. It's very important. They are dealing with the life. If the doctor is making the wrong decision, doing the wrong thing, the patient is dead.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I agree full-heartedly that there has to be change within the system where mindfulness and these mental exercises, these mental push-ups, they really have to be integrated in a seamless fashion within our system of care. And I always, I was always an advocate to say, look, if you're seeing 60 patients in a day in a busy clinic, every physician should take 2 minutes between patients to regroup. And once people learn these techniques, they can at any moment tune into themselves. And that is such a powerful, because that initiates an entire physiologic response that reduces cortisol, it boosts your vitality hormone, modulates your endocrine and immune system. So even 2 minutes, between patients, and even more so, imagine a physician in the beginning of an appointment taking 30 to 60 seconds to do a little exercise with the patient where their heart rhythms begin to synchronize by sending compassion and kindness to themselves and to each other. That moment of synchronization will radically change the experience of the patient. And the patient experience is key to patient outcomes. And just to also, what I loved what you said, the mind and the body, 100%, the mind-body bridge, the spectrum, it's really one. And yet there's also the spirit. And we don't, we don't talk about the spirit in Western medicine, but they talk about social, the biopsychosocial model of care. And that social component that is well discussed in the medical research is also basically describing your sense of connection that you feel not just to yourself, but to others. And when we reframe the biopsychosocial model of care, it also can be described as saying that we're all spirits having a human experience. And so when we treat people, most of the time we're just focused on that physical form, the physical body. What can we cut? What can we take out? And yet, we don't spend much time, resource, or even value the mind, and most of all, that sense of connection. And that is, I think, a fundamental...
that connection is very important. Like, when a patient comes, if the doctor is talking to the patient kindly, with a smile, with gentleness, softness, that's it. The patient feels very comfortable. And a patient feels the healing right away.
Absolutely.
So, but if the doctor is stressed out, burning out,
absolutely.
then it impacts the patient.
It impacts everybody. So let me ask you this, Bhante, and your new book coming out, which is very exciting. Your new book titled, Are You Kindful? And I love the subtitle, How Your Practice of Kindfulness Can Build a Happy and Peaceful Nation.
Yeah.
And I love that you're drawing this relationship between self-care and a healthy, peaceful, a thriving community.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit about that perspective?
Yeah, it's very important. As I said, let's say I officially call Canada a mindful and kind nation, right? So let's say Canada's population now more than 37 million, right? More than 37 million. Let's say if every Canadian citizen, no matter what background, what cultural background they come from, as a Canadian citizen, he or she chooses to be kindful or chooses to embrace kindfulness. As a Canadian citizen, I am choosing to be kind. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm always being mindful to be kind to myself. So that means if I go through something painful or something's bothering me, if I'm in pain, if I'm annoyed, if I'm upset, it is at that moment that I really need to be kind to myself. It's like I give a kind of teddy bear experience. Like you have to take yourself as a teddy bear. You know how kids,
Give a hug and
comfortable by giving a hug, and feels comfortable, falls in sleep immediately. So in the same way, when you take yourself as the teddy bear and showing kindness, extra love, you are adding more love and kindness into yourself. Because the notion of compassion, let's say the kindness, is to embrace yourself. You have to be mindful for the fact that I'm in pain. I need to be very gentle to myself. So I need to be kind to myself. Okay, what's causing me this pain? So then, once you take the action to change the circumstances or the situation or the memory or the people or whatever it is, it could be behavior, or your own behavior that's causing the pain. It could be your habitual practices causing the pain, or your own attitude towards others and you, including yourself, is causing the pain, or it could be your mentality causing the pain. So now it's time to change that behavior, habit, attitude, and the mind. Right. So if I don't take care of myself, then there's no one else who can do that for me. So I had to take the action. So I had to be mindful to take enough sleep, eat the good food on time, and to meditate. It could be chanting, it could be meditation, it could be helping someone. So that is, you have to do something while you're doing something good for yourself, meaningful things for yourself. At the same time, be mindful to do something meaningful, good for others. And that also changes your behavior, habits, attitude, and mentality. So now imagine I continue to be, let's say I'm part of the family. If I am the kindful member of the family, then of course members around me in the family are going to enjoy my acts of kindness, and they are going to feel very comfortable. They are going to like me so much. They are going to love me more. They are going to care for more. And then, I would have my kindful brother or kindful sister, kindful mother, kindful father. Now we are a kindful family. So then I would also attract, if I'm if I choose to be kindful, then I would have at least 1 or 2 kindful friends.
It's infectious.
Yeah.
It spreads.
So then it goes on and on. Even in a relationship, there's a kindful boyfriend, kindful girlfriend, and it's a kindful relationship. Then it becomes kindful husband, kindful wife, kindful mother, kindful husband, and the kindful the family, and the kindful community. Now and then the whole population in the province are going to be kindful. It could be kindful school, and a kindful company, kindful municipal government, provincial government, kindful federal government. Now imagine wherever you are at, always choose to do an act of kindness for others. So I always teach people every day, even especially to the kids. Yeah. They say, if you, I say, okay, you do maybe 1 act of kindness a day. Maybe if you don't want to do much, that's fine. But at least you could do 1 act of kindness. So what is this 1 act of kindness? Let's say, I'm going to make a cup of tea for you. This is my kindful action. And maybe I would say, oh, Mitch, you're such an amazing human being. You're so nice. That makes you happy. If I do an act of kindness, if I give you a cup of tea, it's going to make you happy. And if I always think kindful thoughts, it's going to make me happy, and I'm going to radiate that energy of kindfulness to others. Yeah. So this is, now imagine if you can do 1 act of kindness a day. Now how many days a month? Let's say 30 or 31. So every month you're doing 30 acts of kindness. Now how many months a year? 12. Now you count, Now annually, how many acts of kindness are you doing? So you could do more. So then when you continue doing this act of kindness every day, 1 act of kindness every day throughout your life, now what's going to happen? If we bring neuroscience, then you're going to wire and rewire your brain with these positive neurons. Kindful neurons, I would say these are kindful neurons.
The special class, the subclass, yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because, so Standford University has a program out of their medical school called the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education. And one of the key elements to compassion is becoming aware of suffering. Yeah. So just as you said, you have to be aware and mindful of what you're experiencing in any moment. Yeah. And they further describe that we are all connected to a field of collective compassion. Yeah. So your thoughts and your emotions, if you are feeling angry, anxious, fearful, not only is that, causing, it's taxing on your biology, it's taxing on your mental health, your spiritual health, but you're also radiating the energy, this chaotic frequency of energy from your heart. Yeah. That again is not only affecting the way that you think, the way that you're able to, function, but you're also sending that energy out into the world, affecting other people. And a perfect example is, I'm sure many people can relate to the idea that, when somebody walks into a party or to a boardroom, sometimes you can feel like, oh, negative Nancy or negative Ned just showed up. Yeah. And they don't even have to say a word. Yeah. You can feel their energy. Yeah. And we're starting to better appreciate the science behind emotions, the science of empathy and connection. Yeah. And everything that you're describing, the simple act of just, 1 kindful practice reinforces that neural network. Yeah. Reinforces the biochemical, reaction, so that the body it becomes part of your normal operating system, and that energy that you're radiating out into the world is part of the collective field that we're all a part of. Mm-hmm. And this is coming from Stanford, which I find is interesting because on the far end of science, when we look at quantum physics, which is really pertinent, you know, as a radiologist, if we can put people into a machine called an MRI and non-invasively slice the body up like a loaf of bread and look at someone's brain on a computer screen, all without using a scalpel blade. The only reason why that's even possible is because we're all made of light. We're all beings of light. And this idea that we're all part of this field of energy, you know, from a quantum physics perspective, this is, you know, what we're now understanding. It's the reason why our technology works. And now I feel like humanity is finally starting to bring a greater context to that science, and it's helping us understand the importance of kindfulness, mindfulness, compassion. And as we become more aware, we're starting to realize, wait a second, our healthcare system's not very kindful, our education model, our politics, and this is why I think your work, your book is so timely in a world where there's so much social divide.
Well, what we are trying, my global mission is to call every country a mindful and kind nation, and through this principle of kindfulness. And my mission and vision is to minimize the negativities as much as possible, and to maximize the positivities as much as possible. And I understand the fact all these negativities and positivities are coming from human beings. Every human being. So now, if a person is full of negativities, and that person is, of course, suffering, because that person is burning with something. So now, this person needs help. That's why when a person is burning with negativities, it's like, you know, I give an example. It's like holding the charcoal on your hand. When you hold the charcoal on your hand, what happens to you? You burn. Your hand is burning. And this burning is unbearable. And then when it becomes unbearable, what do? You just throw everywhere. When you throw this charcoal everywhere, whoever is around you, it's impacting them. So while you're causing pains to yourself, at the same time you're causing pains to others around you.
Hurt people.
So you're hurting yourself, at the same time you're hurting others. So that's why I am encouraging people to embrace this kindfulness, to alleviate personal suffering and pain, all the difficulties, the struggles they have, and be kind. Being kind means you also being soft, being gentle. You know, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on others. You know, when you become hard on yourself and others, of course you're suffering the most while causing others to suffer. So once you become, let's say, happier, peaceful. So once you do the kindful acts of kindness, and then it makes you a stronger person, a healthier person, a happier person, a more peaceful person. So now wherever you go, now you become a magnet. That's what I say. You become a magnet of kindfulness, and then you're attracting. It's like you want people to respect you. You want people to be kind to you. People will do all this once they sense that you are that person. I give an example. Let's say the flowers in the woods. And there are beautiful flowers, there are not beautiful flowers. Some flowers, though beautiful, they are lacking nectar. Some flowers, though not beautiful, they are having nectar. And there are bees or hummingbirds who are looking for nectar. And once they see and sense that, that flower has the nectar, that flower is full of nectar, then they go there, land on that flower, and then gets the nectar. So in the same way, I always encourage people, you become full of nectar of kindfulness. So wherever you go, then people will respect you, they are going to be kind to you, they are going to smile with you. And it's happening with me, wherever I go. Even when I was going to Paris, I met these passengers in this both sides of my seat, and I started talking about this. They were very interested in this. They were really tuned into this new concept, and this conversation got going for several hours. And even on the way back to Toronto from Paris, and of course we had a huge delay, long delay, to more than 12 hours. So 30 of us got stuck at the gate.
They were so lucky to have that opportunity to spend time with you.
And then I saw, we were talking, and I talked to some people, and they were very nice, and they were kind enough to offer me some chocolate, cookies. There's Bhante, do you need any juice or water or tea? And I said, so they gave me some. And then when I was going to buy something, I also asked them, do you need anything? He said, no, we are fine. But I bought something for myself, and at the same time, I bought some chocolates for them as well. I said, okay, this is for you, this is for you. So first they gave me kindness. I also had to return kindness. Now imagine, we continue to be kind to one another like that.
Yeah. Chain reaction.
Chain reaction. Then we have respect for each other. We have understanding for each other. And then, this is how we live together in unity, without any fight, without any violence, without any doubt, So it's like we have these kind of places, even in that island we went to, Hawaii Island in Gananoque. People over there are also very nice. They were happy to see us, and we exchange greetings, and they take care of each other. There's no violence in that island, So it's the kindfulness practice.
And I feel, and maybe you can, maybe you've noticed this, but I feel that in today's world, due to the degree of suffering that's occurring in the divide, that people are really now looking for kindful conversations. Yeah. They're really attracted the moment you start talking about the science of it and you start sharing experiences, people really tune in. And I feel that because it's such a void in today's world, that we're hungry for it. Yeah. And I think if there was ever a moment in time where there'd be a revolution of kindness, where kind is the new cool, I think now we're getting to a point where people really want to tune in and to be part of a community.
Yeah, and I see that. I see that when we do our soup kitchens, sharing scanning program, and there are people who like to be part of it, and parents want their children to be part of it, and then we walk on the streets of downtown Toronto with the care packages, and then when we meet the homeless people, we give a package. So then you can see when a homeless person receives a care package, it surprises them. He said, "Are you sure this is for me?" He said, "Yeah, this is for you." And immediately it brings a huge smile and joy into their face. And they look up and they say, thank you, God, for sending this divine person to us, So now, if you can make someone happy with your act of kindness, that is the best way to practice kindfulness.
And it's good medicine, because to give is to receive.
Yeah.
You know, and when you give to somebody, in fact, research has shown that particularly people in retirement age, if they volunteer, let's say in a hospital, their physiology, their health metrics improve.
Yeah.
So to be in service of others is so good for our health.
Yeah.
So Bhante, this has been an amazing conversation. I wish we had more time, and perhaps we'll do more talks in the future. But the last question I have for you before we end is, and I like to ask this to people, but if there was one person in the world that you would like to have sitting here, let's say our next conversation, that you felt that should really tune in to this kindful conversation to help spread the word, help spread awareness, and who has a platform that could do that, I'm interested, who would you want to join us?
It could be the Dalai Lama. Oh, it could be the Pope, I mean, these are powerful figures, global personalities. They have a strong voice. And I mean, if they can talk about this, that's it. And also, maybe we should have all these powerful musicians coming together and creating music of kindfulness and compassion. They also have the power. It's like, there is the recent one. Maybe know that song, "Baby Come Down." It's like how all over the world people are singing into that tune. And so it makes people happy. At the same time, such personalities can bring a huge awareness. And also, I really would like to have a conversation about kindfulness with Drake, actually.
Oh, Drake. Yeah. He'd be great to, and he's all about energy.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did with the Toronto Raptors and how he got the crowd really engaged. I mean, that's energy. There's science behind that, and really, I agree. He would make a huge, And imagine, and what's fascinating, and this is part of the rad art, is that when we have like a Drake or the Dalai Lama come and have conversations with us, in that moment of conscious expansion, that awareness, and that's, just even talking about compassion spreads compassion in the world, that moment is an energy that is captured in art that now creates tangible value that we can use to provide more heart and resilience and compassion programs in schools and communities. And so, Drake, if you're listening to this, buddy, come have a conversation with us, and just that, the few moments of your time creates a huge amount of value to the world, and will create huge ripple effects.
That's right.
Yeah. Bhante, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Thank you for your time. I can't wait. Your book is coming out. Can't wait and everybody out there, you're tuning into this. For those of you who have read the book, wonderful, and you've read you linked into the foreword, where the link is found to this video. And for those of you who have not, please check out Bhante's new book about compassion and be part of the compassion revolution.
And thank you, Dr. Mitch, for being there for the world. I know you're doing amazing. Through our kindful friendship, we were able to bring a huge positive impact, a positive change into the world. I know you travel to different countries, you make presentations, and you just keep doing. I know you're professionally, you're a medical doctor, but you came out from it and you're making a huge revolutionary work through this compassionate work. activities, and just keep going. You have all my blessings. And of course, this friendship will grow day by day. And just choose to be kindful. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others.
Thank you, Bhante. So let's take a look to see what the piece of art, the shooter's piece of art that captured this moment, this energy of our conversation of compassion and kindfulness. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful, shooter.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit about what was the energy and the what were you experiencing? What
do you see?
I see that the earth, and I see that there's the energy on one side of the earth that's emanating from this artistic design, the medicinal mandala, that really represents the science of compassion, the science of connection, when we begin to kind of look at where modern science and ancient wisdom intersect. And that awareness, that expansion of consciousness is represented by all the different colors that are, that's radiating from it. And I feel like, as it's almost like coming, half of the globe, it's like the world's becoming, kind of tuning into that, enlightened.
Yeah.
Well, in one word, you summed it up. Summed it up pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our fingerprints into that painting, so it officiates that we were here.
Yeah.
That this painting and shooter, we've created this energetic moment that's now captured in that piece of art. And for some lucky corporation who wants to sponsor the art, or a savvy investor or philanthropist can now purchase that art that will raise money and create cycles of compassion.
Don't let life pass by. Hold on to the light. Just one shot, baby, let it ride. Fill your heart and we will rise. May we all be well. May we all be happy. I say, may we all find peace and baby be free. May we all be well. May we all be happy. I say, may we all find peace and baby be free. Where does your mind roam? No need to tread through life. Hold on and life will shine. Fill your heart and we will rise. May we all be well. May we all be happy. I say, may we all find peace and baby be free. May we all be well. May we all be happy. I say, may we all find peace and baby be free. New era, new time. Awaken your conscious mind.